What's up, YouTube? Okay, so I'm gonna read this article real quick. Alright. Alright. 3 killed, more than 140 hurt in Boston Marathon bombing. 3 killed, including an 8-year-old baby, in bomb blast near finish line of Boston Marathon. Officials say area hospitals say at least 144 are injured, including 8 children. 2 explosions happened at 2:50 p.m., more than 2 hours after the first of the race. Nearly 27,000 runners had crossed the finish line. Boston.com journalists tell CNN blood everywhere. People missing limbs. Race called off. Red Cross and Google set up websites to help people and loved ones in the area. Piers Morgan anchor coverage of the explosion at the Boston Marathon at midnight ET. Check back here for updates. Full story here. Also see CNN affiliates of WBZ, WCVB, WHTH. Okay. Update. Stephen Segator, a nurse who was at the medical tent near the finish line for the Boston Marathon, said emergency responders immediately went into mass casualty mode. We had full trauma response at the scene. He told CNN we had physicians, nurses who are experienced in trauma care. We had EMTs, and it was full level 1 trauma experience. Segatire said he treated at least 25 people as those experienced in trauma care stepped forward, while others treated people with minor injuries. Update 11:35 p.m. Saudi ambassador to the United States Adel bin Ahmed Al Jubeir condemned the bombings in Boston and offered his condolences to victims' families. What occurred today in Boston is a heinous crime which contradicts the value of humanity, he said. Update 10:52 p.m. Total of injured has risen to 144 people. Officials at Boston area hospitals said that includes 3 additional patients in Brigham and Women's Hospital. Update 10:41 p.m. A law enforcement source in Boston tells CNN that investigators have a number of active leads and some good early progress in the forensic analysis. Update 10:07 p.m. Dr. Peter Fagenholz told reporters that there were 29 wounded people in Massachusetts General Hospital, 8 of whom were in critical condition. Many of the people had shrapnel injuries to their lower extremites, he said. We have performed several amputations, he said. There were no pediatric patients among the wounded, he said. Update 9:38 p.m. Dr. Alan Pantner, who was near the finish line waiting for his wife who was running the race, told CNN he was standing about 20 to 25 feet from the first blast. He said he treated victims on the street after the explosion. I saw at least 6 to 7 people down next to me, he said. They protected me from the blast. 1 lady expired. 1 gentleman lost both of his lower limbs. Most of the injuries were lower extremities. I was pronouncing that wrong the whole time. I didn't even see that. I could not figure why the young lady had expired. I could not find any injury on her thorax. Update 9:28. Bill Ifrig, seen in video wearing an orange tank top and being blown over as he approached the finish line, told CNN Piers Morgan that he was feeling okay after the blast. I got down to within about 15 feet of finishing apron and heard just tremendous explosion. Sounded like a bomb went off right next to me, and the shock waves just hit. I lost my place. Just hit my whole body, and my legs just started jittering around. He said I knew I was going down, and so I ended up down on the blacktop. Ifrig, 78, said he was assisted by one of the event volunteers who helped him up so he could finish the race. After that, the worker looked for aid for Ifrig, who had just a scratch from his fall. He insisted on getting a wheelchair over there, so we started to do that, but before was rounded up. Hang on, I'm playing a game while I do this. It's kind of making it hard to read all this. Where the fuck was I? That was rounded up. I said my hotel's about 6 blocks away, so I think I can make it okay. So they let me get out of there, and I went on home to my wife. Update 8:55. A Saudi national with a leg wound was under guard at a Boston hospital in connection with the bombing. In connection with the bombings at Boston Marathon, but investigators cannot say he is involved at this time. He is not in custody. A law enforcement official said Monday evening. 8:54 update. 3 people were killed in the bombing. Boston Police Commissioner Ed Davis told reporters Monday night, raising the toll by 1. Update 8:52. The FBI is taking lead in investigation. Rick Deslarier's FBI special agent in charge of Boston field office told reporters. 8:44. The Boston Celtics home game against the Indiana Pacers, originally scheduled for Tuesday, was canceled. The NBA announced with regular season almost at its end, the contest will not be made up. Update 8:36 p.m. Investigators have warned law enforcement officers to be on the lookout for a darker-skinned or black male with a possible foreign accent in connection with Monday's bombing at the Boston Marathon, according to a law enforcement advisory obtained by CNN. The man was seen with a black backpack and a sweatshirt and was trying to get into a restricted area about 5 minutes before the first explosion. The lookout notice states. Update 8:35. Hospital workers have treated 141 people after the Boston Marathon bombing. Officials at those facilities said Monday night 2 people died in a terror attack, including an 8-year-old boy, a state law enforcement source said. Update 8:32. A statement has been issued by the race organizers. The Boston Athletic Association extends its deepest sympathies to all those who were affected in any way by today's event. Today is a sad day for the city of Boston, for the running community, and for all those who were here to enjoy 117th running of the Boston Marathon. What was intended to be a day of joy and celebration quickly became a day which running a marathon was a little important. Oh my god, I'm tired. We can confirm that all the remaining runners who were out on the course when the tragic event unfolded have been returned to a community meeting area. At this time, runners' bag in Boston, which remains unclaimed, may be picked up by runners presenting their bib number or proof of race participation at the castle at 101 Arlington Street in Boston. At this time, we are cooperating with the City of Boston, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and all federal law enforcement officials. We would like to thank the countless people from around the world who have reached out to support us today. 7:57 p.m. Doctors are pulling ball bearing out of people in the emergency room. A terrorism expert briefed on the investigation told CNN's Deborah Barrick. I'm sorry if I'm butchering these names. Okay. So basically what I'm getting is this was a terrorist attack, basically. I'm trying to read up on all this stuff, like what was the point of this, like seriously. And what is up with all these freaking terrorist attacks, man? See, man, this is... If it's what I think it is, I'm not going to be pointing like who I think it is by like stereotypes, but I don't know who it is. Like, saw a man on the roof. The picture, first bomb going off. Second picture, someone had something in his hand. And then he pushed it, and that's when the second bomb went off. That's kind of Noel's story, I know. Looks like a lot of people are doing research. Where did you see that? Yeah, I saw that picture. Someone posted on Facebook, which got me interested in like looking into all this stuff, because like I'm kind of curious if this was a terrorist attack or not. Like, what was the point of it? Like, I don't know, man. See, this is when like media comes into play. There's some stuff that is something related. I don't know. I think it's religiously related. By the way, it sounds like a terrorist attack. It sounds like it was religiously related. But I really can't call on what it was, because there's no person found or anything. Just that one guy who they thought was it. Why are we allied with Saudi Arabia, Janet? It is time to resign. We do not trust you anymore. I never trusted you in the first. Obama, this reflects poorly on you, especially since you refused to call it. Hillary Clinton, shame on you for doing a lousy job on the secretary. I doubt Kerry will be able to sort it out. Yeah, we don't know who did this, so I can't really say it's a terrorist attack or just some stupid ass kids. I don't know, but you know, whoever it was who did this, I really hope they get what they got coming to them, because like, what was the point of this? Like I don't get it. This was literally like a Middle East attack. Like, this is like literally stuff that happened in the Middle East, like random bombings and stuff. Like, you know, I don't understand people, man. Like, why the hell would you do this? My guess is it had to be religiously related. It has to be. Almost all these terrorist attacks are religiously related. Every single attack has been religiously related. The wars we have been in, religiously related, pretty much. Because I know 9/11 was a religious attack, and see, this is what I went through in my last video about religion. This, oh my god, this stuff kind of sickens me, man. It just kind of makes me sick to my stomach, like how people can be like this towards each other when we're all like the same people, man. We all bleed red. Like, why the hell are you gonna disrespect like people who are human just like you, man? We all have a life, and we all live, like, you know, I don't know, it's just psychopaths, man. That's what it is. You know, sorry for all the people who were affected by this. You know, it was a tragedy, man. Like they said, it was supposed to be a fun day, and it ended up being a tragedy. And you know, some crazy people out in this freaking world. And, you know, it kind of pisses me off, man. Of the people in this world today, about how they can just do stuff like this and have like no remorse. I mean, it's really disgusting. And if this is religiously related, that's just another reason why I just don't like religion, because I'm most certainly that this is a religiously related thing. It had to be, but by the way it sounds, it just had to be, because there was no point in it. For one, it was just a bunch of innocent murders. Like, who the fuck does that? You know? Sick, twisted people, that's who. Anyway, you know, the video's getting pretty long. You know, I wanted to let this be a notice of it. It's about everything that's going on. You know, I wanted to read a little something in it, because, you know, I really don't. I really want to know what the freak is going on here. 'Cause, like, there's no one to be caught. I mean, obviously security wasn't very tight there. I mean, you know, you don't really think about having tight security at a marathon, but, you know, shoot, now you might want to, because, you know, I was watching the Shaytard, you know, Shay Carl, he runs marathons, man. I mean, I couldn't imagine if, like, you know, he was in there while he was vlogging, like, because I know how much the marathons mean to those people, man. Like, it's like a happy thing, like, you know, like, I couldn't imagine, like, jeez, I couldn't imagine being in there. But I'm sorry for the people who've lost someone or someone got injured or crippled from that, and it's really disgusting. And hopefully they catch this dude or dudes, because there were two bombs. I mean, what the heck? See, this is how it's supposed to be. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of my philosophy on how we could easily prevent this, man. See, I think America's government, I think we aren't, we give people a pat on the hand, we don't really punish no more. We just give them a pat on the hand for breaking the law and, like, I don't know, send them to jail for a couple months, because America wants the look of being nice, because we used to be pretty dang strict when it came to people breaking the law and stuff, but people were looking at us like we were bad people. I mean, for example, the electric chair that got taken away, and this stuff can easily be done if our law enforcement was more ruthless and towards people doing acts like this. And see, I know I wouldn't run the government, but if I was to run the government or any kind of way, I would want it to be an eye for an eye. Because that would really scare people. Eye for an eye. You kill someone, you die. You rob something, you get your hand chopped off. See, this is how you look at it. See, way back when, there really was no bad neighborhoods. There really was not really trouble. Like, every now and then you hear of trouble, but it wasn't very common, at least from what I read. But bad neighborhoods start off one area. I'm not saying this is gang affiliated, but this is what I'm talking about here. A bad neighborhood starts in one area, right? Starts in one area, and then you got, say they get in trouble. Cops come in, take care of it. Okay, they took care of it, but it still continued and continued. Well, as that progress continued, the law became less ruthless and less punished. Like, they just gave them little pats on the hand, and giving them little pats on the hand, sending them to jail for a couple years, or sending them to prison for a couple years. That just gives those bad neighborhoods a chance to expand, because all they're getting is pat on the hands. And then on top of that, when people come out of prison trying to look for jobs, it's really hard for them to find jobs. So therefore, most people end up going back to that lifestyle, therefore adding more population to that lifestyle. Therefore, population of that lifestyle increasing highly, which is why there are so many bad neighborhoods in a lot of places. See, if the government was strict law-wise, like putting fear in those who are wanting to attempt on even thinking about breaking the law, if there were acts to where the law would actually do ruthless acts, and they were allowed to do ruthless acts to strike fear. Hang on. Okay. See, this book right here I got it for $2. It was on sale. See, it was a $14 book. The book's called Torture. It speaks of all the ruthless acts that were, throughout history. And you hear the people who are breaking the laws and stuff, and say, they were doing these acts. That stuff would strike fear in people and they wouldn't break the law. But nowadays, we want to be known as not a threat. We don't want to be known as we don't want to be known as I don't know the right word to say to it, because I'm doing this I'm freestyling this. But if we were more strict with our punishment, less people would break the law. If the cops were more, dead on, they were allowed to punish, because really, I really cannot stand when people break the law, then they get like all an attitude at the cop for pulling them over for doing his job. And it's like, yo, what the freak, man? You broke the law, dude. You need to take responsibility. You can't, I really can't stand, but that shows how the law has changed over time. This book right here shows how the law has changed over time and how it affected us. I mean, this is a fine example, because damn well if we were like really strict with people who want to do these acts, they wouldn't even think about doing those kind of acts. You know why? That's because punishment. Eye for an eye is probably one of the most easy ways to because I mean, think about it. Back in the way old days when lynchings were happening for punishment, when they would show the people this is what happens when you break the law. Those people were too scared to break the law because they saw what happened, but that was considered too ruthless. So therefore, they wanted to put it at ease. Let's ease up on the people. And that's the type of stuff that happens when you ease up. This type of stuff happens. I think if the government was more strict when it came to law breaking and stuff, and they were more, ruthless, like showing them who's boss. Because there are way too many people out in today's world that think they think they're above the government, and the government is just giving them a pat on the hand, sending them to prison for a couple years or maybe to jail, and then they get off scot-free. Of course, it's going to be hard because it's on the record. It's going to be hard to find a job and stuff. But I think if we were more ruthless, none of that stuff would happen. Like if we brought some of the stuff that we used to punish people with, like to strike fear in them, not to break the law no more, stuff like that would not happen. But that's just my thought. Some people say my philosophy is kind of my philosophy is psycho or something, like some crap like that. But man, dude, it makes freaking sense, because if you look at the past and how it affected people, like look at how people were back then. I mean, it just makes sense to me. I don't know if it'll make sense to you guys, but this is just a rant on this whole thing. I don't really understand why people do these things. I don't understand why people just can't live their life. I mean, we all have one life, man. Like, why the heck do you want to waste it like this? Like, waste your life killing people and shit. Like, what's the point in that? I don't understand people. I really don't. Because this shit right here is like really disgusting. I really hope they find this dude, because people want to enjoy their life, man. I don't know, man. Stuff just really sickens me, and I know I'm not the only one sickened by this. But, I know I make goddamn sense, and if you agree with me, you're on the right mind. Because you see, when I'm in like debates, like in public chats with like people who don't debate, people who are in the chat room just to talk, and they see me and a fellow like sharing our philosophy, I end up freaking getting more backup than any other person who's there, and they don't think like, I remember one dude I was in a philosophy debate with. This dude was like a big follower of Che, and talking about stuff that Che did and stuff, and some of the stuff he was promoting was like, why the heck would you promote that? But you know what? I ended up getting way more backup than this dude did, because he sounded like a freaking lunatic. He sounded like he was freaking like wannabe, like an anarchist, everyone man for themselves type shit. And it's like, no, we have a government for a reason. Like, this dude's an American citizen for one. He wants us to kind of be like whatever the heck Che was. I don't really know much about Che. I know a little bit about him, but I know he was like the Robin Hood of his time or some crap like that. I really could care less. I'm not really into that. I'm not interested in that. You know, I'm interested on stuff that I know good, but man, I end up getting more backup than any other dudes out there, man. So you know, if you like, you agree with my type of punishment when it comes to the law and being more strict, you know, cool. You know, I mean, my mom on the other hand, my mom was talking about like, you know, what about people who are wrongly accused, and that's the only thing that I really cannot answer because I don't know how you would answer that. I mean, with today's technology, man, you know, shoot. I mean, if that person's around with the wrong crowd at the wrong time and he's with them, he kind of deserves it, man. You know, you don't be hanging around with the wrong crowd while you know you're going to get in trouble. You know, when stuff like that happens, you want to get out. You know, this is all my opinion on the thing. Everyone has their own philosophy on things. You know, I got my own philosophy on things too, and I share that. And you know, I usually when I open my mouth and stuff, when I start telling people my philosophy, you know, people like, yeah, man, that would make the world better, man. But I don't know why we do that. The reason America don't do things like that when it's law based and you know people breaking the law, they don't want to have that look of like, they don't want people to think, oh, so that's how they treat their American citizens. No, that's how we treat our bad apples. But America don't want people even thinking that. They don't want people thinking that. America wants to be, we can still be known as a good country. It's not our fault that people want to break the law, you know. But there's only one way to freaking solve it, you know. But anyway, I'm in this video. It's 26 minutes. If you listen to the whole time, cool. You know, it's awesome. You know, sorry for everyone who was affected in the Boston explosion. I really hope they bust those people and those people get what they deserve. Because see, this shit right here, man, it just gets me mad. It just gets me on a rant, man. You know. But anyway, I'm gonna game some. Then I'm gonna go to bed. I got school tomorrow, so peace.